So here's the deal today. We're going to go through a little bit of the stuff that I'm expecting you to know by the end of the day. There's a PowerPoint. You guys can feel free to look through it. I'm going to give you about a half hour to reread a couple pages. And I'll tell you what pages those are, because we will have a Kahoot today on pages 24 through 27 in the book. So let's take a look together at some of the stuff I'm expecting you to know. I have diagrams of the carbon cycle and the nitrogen cycle on the smartboard. Okay? The carbon cycle, if we click on this one, okay, and I linked it right. Hey-oh, are you off? Is that what you were going to say? Alright. Okay, so some of the things that I want you to know. Living things are made up of carbon. They depend on the gases of carbon dioxide and oxygen. Plants use carbon dioxide when they make food. Both animals and plants use oxygen to release energy and from food. You have an awesome day as well. What's that? Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. The flow of carbon as a solid, liquid, or gas through Earth's ecosystem is called the carbon cycle. There's a diagram on 24, 25. Don't just look at the picture. Don't just look at the picture. I want you to read the diagram. There are different parts that you need to read. Carbon dioxide and oxygen are present in the atmosphere as gases. Photosynthesis, the process through which plants make food. The process through which plants make food takes place in the chloroplast in plant cells. Through this process, plants make sugars by combining carbon dioxide from the air, with water that they absorb through their roots. Add sunlight to this, and now they have completed the process of photosynthesis. They're making food. Animals depend on food produced by plants because all life processes require the energy that is stored in food. So when you guys are hanging out in class and you're going, oh, it's lunchtime yet, I'm dying, which you're not dying, but you're running low on energy, okay? So you go eat lunch and you have a whole bunch of food, and you come back and you start yakking and talking and new life is into you, but then again by about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you're like, oh, can I just go home and eat something? Please, I'm dying. You're not dying. But in the carbon cycle, if you were to click on that, do not do that right now, but if you were to click on that, there is a video. It's about 3 or 4 minutes long. Watch it, and then I want you to take note of what it's telling you to do. Okay? The nitrogen cycle. The last thing we're going to talk about, and then I'm going to let you guys explore this on your own. Living things are made up of cells, and many cell parts are made up of proteins. One of the important building blocks of protein is nitrogen. Nitrogen takes up about 78% of the air that we breathe. The movement of nitrogen through the ecosystem is called the nitrogen cycle. Animals need nitrogen to build proteins. They get the nitrogen they need from proteins in the plants that they eat. So, yesterday one of the questions you had was how do animals depend on plants to get the nitrogen that they need? The answer is that without plants completing the process of photosynthesis and living and creating that gas that they release and the food that it gives us, we would all not be alive. Okay? So there are 2 ways in which nitrogen can be changed. Lightning passes through the air, produces nitrogen compounds that are carried to the ground by rain. Types of bacteria take in nitrogen directly from the air and change it to compounds, which makes proteins. You need proteins for your cells to stay alive. Without proteins, without bacteria, we would not be alive. Nitrogen must be changed into nitrogen compounds in order to be used by living things to make proteins, and that is why bacteria are so important. Without bacteria, that process of turning into bacteria, proteins, or compounds, we wouldn't be alive. Okay? So, again, the nitrogen cycle, it's in pink. If you click on that, which you're not going to right now, but if you click on it, then you will get a 3 or 4 minute video. The pages that I'm asking you to read are 24 through 27. Well, we read that yesterday. I bet we didn't read it well enough because I looked through some of the answers to our questions yesterday and we're a little bit off. Hopefully these slides will help you understand them a little bit better. Reading through the diagrams, not just looking at the pictures. Oh, it's going in a circle. You're right, but what's happening in that circle? That's what's important. So I want you guys to read through the diagrams on 24 through 27. Read through some of the stuff that they're talking about. I highlighted the important parts. The videos that I've attached are kind of corny, but it is what it is. They're full of really good information. They're like 3 or 4 minutes long. And then at about 1:25-ish, we'll do a Kahoot, and then we'll be on our way. Okay? Please read through all of the diagrams. Some of the questions from the Kahoot come specifically from the diagrams. I'm warning you. Okay, you may go ahead and explore that. You might need to go.
Bye.